What's up YouTube, Dow here from Zephyr War Games, bringing you part number 3 of our Yu-Gi-Oh 101, this one being deck testing. Now if you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, which is creating a side deck and of course creating a deck, you will need to go check those out before you get into this one, just so you know the progression that we are making in this line of series. With that said and done, as you've done with all the previous ones, please smash the like button, hit the notification bell and subscribe to show your appreciation for this type of video. If there are any 101s or questions or tutorials that you would like to see me video for you guys, then please put them in the comments down below. If this video gets at least 50 likes, it will unlock part number 4, which will be getting you prepared to go back to a local event and just being able to make sure you know that you've got a deck list written out if needed, or if you've got all your cards sleeved correctly, you've got your deck ready, you've got your side deck, you've checked everything, you've got tokens, you've got dice, the whole 9 yards. We will do a full-on tutorial of getting you ready to go back to locals, or getting you ready to be welcomed into the game of Yu-Gi-Oh when you do go and play your first physical one-on-one game of Yu-Gi-Oh, or even online, whether it be remote duels or digitized. With that out of the way, let's get into today's video, which will be Yu-Gi-Oh 101 deck testing. Now, there are many different ways that you can test a Yu-Gi-Oh deck once you have built it. You've got many online systems like Yugioh Pro, Dueling Nexus, absolutely loads. You also have little apps that you can put on your phone that allow you to do digital test hands and can actually allow you, alongside Yu-Gi-Oh Numeron, you can actually build your own deck as well. Then you have physical testers as well that like to use proxies, or like myself, actually have the physical deck built in front of them so they get the feel of the hand, they get the shuffle, and it all produces a natural reaction. So I'm going to take you through all these particular examples. I'll take you through the example of how I like to test as well, and I'll also take you through a couple of examples building you into basically having friendly game matches with your friends. Now, obviously the first big difference you've got is online and in physical. So we'll start with online first, as this is the one that pretty much costs you nothing. All of the online simulators and even Dueling Numeron are completely free. So check them out. You can download them on your PC, you can download them on your phone, or they just are a website that you sign up for. Very, very easy, very, very straight to the point. Now the first one that I advise people to play, and this is only for your testing purposes, is Dueling Nexus. Now, the reason you would play on Dueling Nexus is it does give you little prompts when an effect is available to be activated. Now, once you have learnt the deck, once you have learnt what to do, you kind of want to move into something like Yugioh Pro, purely because that doesn't give you the nudges, it doesn't give you the reminders. This is purely an online playing format between two people. Whereas with Nexus, again, you can play with other people around the world, but it does give you those little prompts, it does give you those little nudges to say, hey, an effect can be activated right now, do you want to do it? And to me, that is a good way of learning a brand new deck, just in case there's something you don't quite understand. It does allow you to read the cards as well, and it does allow you to go, right, okay, it's nudging me, it's telling me there's an effect that can be activated here. I can look and see what I've got. Do I want to activate it or not? Why do I want to activate it, and why would I not want to activate it? And how comes I can now activate it? So it just gives you that little bit of an aid if you're learning something completely new. Now, if you're learning something that you already know the ins and out of, you can cut Nexus out of the equation and go straight onto Yugioh Pro. Now, with these online systems, of course, they do limit you within the realms of Yu-Gi-Oh! In regards to ban list, number of cards, people you play around the world, everything. So being able to digitally build your deck without having the physical cards there's no cost whatsoever. You just drag and drop, you search out any card in the database, build your deck and have a play. Now, obviously, it's a little bit different from physical play because there are the whole, okay, mouse click and communicating and typing and all of this. And to me, that's not the natural behaviour of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For me, personally. I'm not an online duelist, I actually prefer to physically duel in person, which is why I'm more of the physical type. Of course, if you do like the online situation and scenarios and stuff like that, once you have done Nexus, once you have learnt the deck inside and out, that's when you go onto Yugioh Pro with no prompts, no help, and you literally just play Yu-Gi-Oh! One-on-one with these two people and just as it goes from there. Now, moving on to the physical testing, which is what I do a little bit more often of it, is if it's a brand new deck, I will print out proxies. Alan Mack online is one of the best for this. He does already create you proxies or give you translations for brand new cards, and they are already sized for you. So once you move them onto a Word document, you just print them out, cut them out, put any odd card you want in a sleeve and put the card on top of that. This is also another way. Now, obviously, you can't take those cards to a physical tournament with you if they are proxies, but it does give you another way of creating a proxy in order to go, right, okay, I want to test this deck to see if I want to buy it. I want to test this deck to see if it suits my playstyle. Your playstyle might be control. That might be where you want to be able to set 5, go first, and then control during your opponent's turn and do more during your opponent's turn. You might be a combo player where you want to pretty much special summon as many cards as you can, make a big Omni-Negate board, and then basically say to your opponent, break this and win, or don't break this, I win. So there's a lot that you can kind of do. It allows you to kind of experiment with the decks you want to build, and it also allows you to experiment with different techs and different styles as well. So me as a physical tester, what I would then do is once I've built my deck, sometimes the deck, like I said in the previous video, can be anywhere from 40 cards to 60 cards. Now there are the odd time when I'm building a deck and putting it together and I'm like, oh, I really like these cards, I want to put them in here, and my deck ends up becoming a 45 card. Absolutely fine. That's where testing comes into it, because once you do testing, you might find something bricks a little bit more. You might realise that you're missing something. You might also realise that you can bump your deck back down to a 40 card and get rid of out of these little cards that you might not need. Now obviously testing amongst yourself on your own is only going to get you so far, because you're not going to get the opponent's interaction. So I'll take you through a typical example of what you do when you're testing on your own. Obviously there are learning the combos, which there are a lot of YouTubers on there that do combos for you and also do test stand videos. But again, it's all well and good learning a combo from A to B. But what you need to do is you need to be able to learn a combo from A to B and A to alternative B, where you might be interrupted by your opponent, whether it be an Ash Blossom, an Imperm, a Negation, anything like that. You need to be able to know your adaptation between the turn. Now it's all well and good building a deck, go straight to your locals, but then if you're going to be spending at least double the amount of time reading your cards, trying to figure out the cards, trying to figure out the combos, you're actually going to lose a lot of time. And in these brand new time rules where that is actually going to go against you, you want to make sure that you know your deck as well as you possibly can do, so that you can save as much time as possible during your turns, that you're allowed to control and know exactly what you need to do. So that should your opponent go, right, I'm up on life points, I'm giving you 10 seconds left, you can do exactly what Jake Quincy did a couple of years ago back in a YCS and literally go, right, I know exactly what I need to do, I've already got my man played out, boom, 10 seconds, go, boom, 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 battle phase, done. And that is the difference between winning a game and losing a game, knowing exactly what you need to do, knowing how to get from A to B all the way to the end in order to win a duel. So again, that happens with learning and testing specific A to B combos. After you've tested your A to B combos, you then want to move into your test stands. So this is more on the broader scope of how consistent am I able to do this combo? How consistent do I need to alternate from this combo? How consistent can I get from an A to B end board if I'm going to be interrupted? Now, as a physical tester, what you can do, and you can do it digitally as well, is test hands. Now, test hands is where you have the deck, you draw your 5 cards as if you were normally going first, or 6 if you want to go second, and you kind of work up how many times can I build this board up. Now, you build up the board so many times. Once you have learnt the ins and outs, once you know your deck and how it works, you can then start to do test hands where you go, right, okay, this is my most vulnerable point. If my opponent wants to Ash me, Imper me, or hand trap me right now, where can I then go? How can I then divert? What can I then end on? And that's how you learn the alternatives of the deck. And that's what makes you great players. That's what makes players to the top level as possible, is they know their deck inside and out. They know their opponent's deck inside and out. And they then know how to adapt should they be hit with what the multiple hand traps are in the game. Keep in mind, we still don't have Crossout Designator and Call by the Grave is a 1. So we have got even less chances to stop those cards. Meaning that you need to be aware that it is a hand trap format, you need to be aware that they might be disruptive, and you need to be able to go, right, okay, test stand number 1. This is what I can do if I go uninterrupted. Use the same test stand. Right, now what happens if I get interrupted at this point? Where can I deviate? What happens if I get interrupted here? Where can I go from there? And that basically allows you to do a lot of work and a lot of understanding between what is needed and what isn't. Another tip that I'll give you as well as you're testing is play with an unlimited extra deck. If you're umming and ahhing and you've got like 25 cards that can go into your extra deck and you're like, right, I don't know what one's quite good for me, I don't know which one's going to work, don't limit yourself to a 15 card extra deck build, and don't limit yourself to a 40 card main deck build as well. Adapt a little bit, grow the numbers, and then once you're testing, you'll realise, right, okay, actually I haven't gone into this monster at all, I've never needed it, cut it out. Or I've never gone into this one, or oh, I really need a monster that is a Link 4 that only requires 2 monsters that can be above 3,000 attack. And you go, right, okay, well, access code, I need to put him in there. And it allows you to kind of deviate of what you need. So the only time you need to put the restrictions on yourself is when you go to a physical event. That's when you need to go, right, okay, I can't have proxies, I have to have a 15 card extra deck, and my main deck ideally needs to be about 40 to 60 cards, and ideally you want to aim for 40 if you're going for consistency, 60 if you're going for mill cards, or you've got a lot of searchers and starters and extenders that are always going to be in your hand. So that's one very physical way of testing. Now, once you've done all of this on your own, you can do it with other people as well, but once you've done it on your own, that's when you move out. That's where you can then physically test a game with your friends. And what I always advise is, again, work with your friends, because the one thing that you'll be able to do if you test online or with a friend is they'll actually give you the option to take something back. Now, we are humans, we do make mistakes. You might make a combo and then 5 turns down the line go, actually, I can't do this, I've messed up the combo. Now, in a normal game, you won't be allowed to take all them steps back. But for learning purposes, your friend might say, that's fine, let's move the steps back, work together as a team and go, right, okay, what step did you do? Right, okay, cool, let's try and do it this way. Then try and complete your combo. That way you learn where you made the mistake, you learn where you can go correct again, and you learn how to get to the final end board. Now you want to make sure you don't do that too many times, because if you're doing the exact same combo and you always falter at the exact same point and then keep going back to that point, you're not learning, you're not changing anything. What you need to do is make that mistake, then learn from it, and go, right, okay, next time I've got to make sure I don't do that. One of the prime examples in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Phase Scarm. The amount of people that forget to search their deck with an Phase Scarm is incredible. And that's purely because, again, they're just not used to that natural deck. Like, they might jump from different decks that you just go, okay, cool, draw, summon 6, Phase pass. Whereas if you're a BA player, once you've got used to it, you'll go Phase Scarm rather than Phase pass on a natural reaction. You want to make it become a second habit. You want to make it become as natural as possible. You want to be able to go, right, okay, moving from a main phase 1, main phase 2, main phase 3, boom, done. That's another very big important thing once you're testing as well, because you will need it when you're physically dueling as well, is always clearly call out the phases you are going through. Draw phase, standby phase, main phase 1, battle phase, end of battle phase, main phase 2, end phase, your turn. Make sure you do it step by step. Make sure you build it into yourself that that is what you're doing. Even if you're doing test stands, draw phase, standby phase. That way you cannot get called up at any point. So if you were to go, for example, if you just went draw phase, standby phase, main phase, battle phase, end of battle phase, evenly matched, your opponent could quite easily go, whoa, 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 hang on, I actually have a response to that when you leave the main phase. Whereas if you clearly explain to them, you go draw phase, anything, no, standby phase, main phase, end of main phase, battle phase, end of battle phase. Your opponent can't go, whoa, 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 hold up, I had something during the main phase. You went, whoa, no, I clearly explained each stage, you had no response, I'm able to continue. So again, not only are you testing your deck, but you're testing the actual game etiquette and the game performance going from start to finish, that you're able to cover all bases. The last thing you need to do is lose a game because you haven't clearly stated each phase you're going through. And it's a massive tip that even I learned as a newer duelist as well, that you want to make sure you call out every single phase. Now, there are a couple times where your opponent might do that to you and are trying to bait you, trying to get you to activate anything, which they don't actually have. So, for example, evenly matched is the most common one. Quite a few people will go main phase, battle phase, end of battle phase, hoping that you're going to activate one of your back row, and you might go no, and they might not even have an evenly matched. So keep in mind there's a lot of that goes on as well, but just as long as you are clear and precise with what you are planning to do, and with every draw phase you're about to do, with every summon you're about to do, with every effect you activate, it gives your opponent a chance to go, right, okay, do I want to respond to this? No, and then it means you can't get called up. So for example, if you're going, activate reinforcement of the army, and you just search without giving your opponent an option to respond to that, you might be able to search a monster and you might go, whoa, 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 I had a response to that, I had Ash Blossom. Then you're in breach because you've looked through your deck without getting the confirmation from your opponent. You've actually changed the game state, and you might get pulled up on that depending on who the judge is and depending on the local venue itself. So make sure you cover every basis once you're testing as well. Now, once you've tested everything, you've done your test hands, you've done that online, you've built the deck, you've done it in person with the physical test hands yourself, and then you've had duels with your friends. Once you've tested with your friends, you've gone back and forth, you've learnt both your decks inside and out, you know which combos you need to do, you know which time you got interrupted, you know how to come back from being Dark Ruler no more, you know how to stop on 4 summons so you don't get in a Beard, or you know how to get into a negate before your 5th summon so you don't get in a Beard. This is all core components that you need to keep in mind of the common cards that are around. And there's only so much you can do with test stands, you need to have the physical play. Luck is a massive component in Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes your opponent might play all of those hand traps but not see any of them. You need to be able to adapt. If your opponent Nibiru's you now, where can you go? If you get Ash now, where can you go? If you get Impermed, where can you go? That's what makes the good duelists, are those that can foresee cards happening to them, those that can be a little bit cautious. You'll also see a lot of people that go, nah, I don't reckon he's got Nibiru, 5th summon, Nibiru, and their entire turn just crumbles. Whereas if they had thought about it and gone, right, okay, and again, I'm guilty of this as well, I've got greedy, I've got my opponent's trying to bait me, I'm not doing this, 5th summon, Nibiru, and you go, No. And you actually lose the game to it. I've done it many a time. So you just need to be able to learn from your mistakes. That sometimes ending on a 4 summon or being able to go, right, okay, normal summon this card, declare to use the effect. Please ash it, please ash it, please ash it. You didn't ash it, no. Okay, special summon this card, declare to use the effect. Ash, yes, excellent. Okay, link 2, go into Halley Firebrax, do this, do that, do that. There's a lot that you can do. It's all about mind games, it's all about luck, and it's all about knowing the deck inside and out, knowing what you need to do. Time is one of those components within the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That can be a very tight restraint. So that's one thing that I do also suggest you guys, when you're testing with your friends, have a timer in the background, okay? Don't religiously play to it. So for example, put a 40-minute timer when you're playtesting with your friend, okay? Once it gets to 40 minutes, that's the point when you go, right, okay, I'm taking way too long to play this. Let's continue, let's finish this game off. And then the next time you do it, you need to move a little bit faster. You need to know your cards better. You need to be able to go, right, okay, boom, 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 side. That is also another thing during testing as well. When you're testing with your opponent, don't side for the first couple of matches. Learn your deck. That is number 1, learn your deck. Because once you have learnt the deck, you'll then know in certain matchup what cards are useless, what cards are useful, what cards you side in, what cards you side out. Everything comes together at this point. Once you've done a couple of duels, once you know your deck inside and out, that's when you can start siding. That's when you can go, okay, in this particular matchup, I need to take out these cards. In a future matchup, I need to take out these cards. And you'll also be able to see that in generic matches that you play, you'll actually be able to go, well, during test stands, this card was really good for me. But right now, in my physical play with my opponent, and he's used a lot of different decks, he's not actually doing anything for me. You can cut it out and put in one of your alternative cards as well. So there's a lot of testing that goes out. Like I said before in the deck building video before this, no one deck is exactly the same. No one deck is played exactly the same. No one deck plus the side deck plus the extra deck is exactly the same card for card and plays exactly the same, and you will draw the exact same hands. It just doesn't work that way. Okay, the astronomical like mathematics between this person over here has the exact same deck, the exact same side deck, the exact same extra deck, and has drawn the exact same 5 cards in their opening hand as I have, is near impossible. That's why it's very rare for anyone to open up all 5 pieces of Exodia in one turn. Like, very, very rare, okay? And that's basically it, guys. That's what you do a lot of testing on. Test online, do a lot of test hands. Test hands is one thing that I do a lot of. Now, when I'm building a deck, I won't even put it all in the correct sleeves because I'm literally mashing decks together and go, right, okay, let's see how this works. I'm not going to stack my deck because no one loses that except me. Like, that's not... Like, I'm only cheating myself. So you test the deck out, you go, right, okay, this card doesn't work, this is too bricky, this card doesn't work. Oh, I'm missing a reinforcement of the army, right, let's put that in there. Or, oh, I really wish there was a card that searched warriors, like, why haven't I got that in here? And then you go, oh, let's Google it. Oh, there is something that does that, it's called reinforcement. Right, okay, put that in here. Like, if you're a new player, some of these cards you might not even consider, some of these cards might not even exist to your knowledge. And straight away, all you need to do is you go, I really wish I had a card that could search a Cyverse card. Let me have a look. Is there a card that searches up... Wow, Silent Mining. Okay, I need to get one of those. Let's proxy in a Silent Mining. Okay, this works really, really well. And then you learn from that Silent Mining and go, ooh, actually, this is one of my biggest weak points. Like, if my opponent ashes me here, I've negged 2 cards. Like, I need to make sure that I bait out an ash before I get to this point. And it just allows you to learn, it allows you to adapt, and it allows you to become a better player in general. Anyway, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you understand everything. If there are any questions whatsoever, put them in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Now, we do have a lot coming up this week. We do have 2 Halloween-based decks coming out this week. And then come Saturday and Sunday is the official or the pre-release of Phantom Rage. So we will have a box opening for you guys. We will have... loads of profiles as well. So I think the 2 most voted for profiles are Mutants, yes, and Phantom Knights as well. So I can't wait to put them together for you guys to see as well. Anyway, as absolutely always, please smash the like button to show the support for this type of video. If there are any tutorials or 101 videos that you would like to see, please put them in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to do that for you. If this video gets at least 50 likes, I will release part number 4, and that is of course going to be getting you ready. Once you've built your deck, you've got your side deck, you've tested your deck, now the next step is going to locals and kicking AS to win yourself some OTS prizes as well. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. As absolutely always, smash that like button, hit the notification bell, subscribe, and stay safe and happy dueling.